Hello, dear friends. What a blessing to be with you today with another Spiritist magazine program here at Kardec Radio. What a blessing to be with you. My name is Shane Martin. I'm broadcasting from Central Virginia, Spirit Society of Richmond. What a blessing. And today we continue our studies of the newest issue of the magazine, issue 57. As you see on the screen next to me, is available to you and I for our study and our reflection. Wonderful magazine issue with many tips and tricks on how to create this peaceful, calm world that all of us are seeking to inhabit. And as a reminder, as folks are joining us, you can visit spiritistmagazine.org. Last week I showed you how you can download the app for your tablets and cell phones, and how the app works. Very easy, very simple to have all of the issues of the magazine free of charge for you to study. And you can also visit that website to order a physical copy of the Spiritist magazine, which is a wonderful work. Remember, we are all 100% volunteer endeavor. And there's a link on the website to the Facebook page of the Spiritist magazine where this will air as well, and to the app stores, to the Google and to the Android or Google app and the Apple App Store for you to download the app to your devices, as well as the Kardec Radio app as well. You can download to your cell phone and listen to us 24/7. To issue 57, where there's a chapter here, there's an article called Meekness from the book. Very easy to, as you can see, I'm just scrolling through the PDF version that you can download to your computer. I'm just searching for the article I wanted to study with you, which is Meekness, because we need more meekness and affability in our world. So this article is from the Spirit, Sandra Lewis, through the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. And we thank both of them for this inspiration, for their diligent work they've done for you and I to enjoy these teachings today. This is a short chapter from the book called Charity that was translated by the Kardec Radio team, and the whole book is available for your study in the YouTube, Facebook, and SoundCloud, because Vanessa and Saloni use these teachings for the inspiration for the morning prayer as well. So I want to decrease my presence and increase the presence of the chapter so we can bring some things to our attention. As you notice, I make it so that we can together study and read these teachings. And you can do the same at your home, at your Spiritist center, so on and so forth. Sandra Lewis tells us, insignificant is the drop of water, however, over time, it traces a path in the hard body of the stone. Rivers are carved, valleys are carved, due to the incessant work of each and every drop of water in the world. The seed is humble, however, it germinates firmly and produces the ear that enriches the granary, like the ear of corn. So a little mustard seed brings the plant that we harvest the mustard that you have in your fridge, for example. Or if you garden, the little seed very humbly goes down to the depths of the earth where it's darkness, and within itself it has stored energy and information to grow the roots down and then shoot up to look for the sunlight. What a beautiful experience. So sometimes we have to go within ourselves, to the darkness that lives within us, to the difficulties we have in our lives, to find the inner strength to grow the roots where we are and find our path to the light as the seed. Fragile is the flower, however, it withstands the wind, ensuring a plentiful harvest. Look around. When this first goes into to air, to broadcast, it will be spring in America, as you can probably notice by my voice. It's beautiful, beautiful flowers, pollen everywhere, and the trees are blooming. It's the most beautiful spectacle of nature. Tiny is the ant that builds, tiny is the ant, but it builds by dint of perseverance complicated underground cities. Ants are working and working diligently in their colonies with their social structure, with their chemical communication to know what to do. There's a structure to their society, and they build cities, even though the tiny ant, who can carry more weight than most of us can in our lives by sheer of size, to be able to carry that back to the colony. Clay is submissive, you know. If you have clay, Play-Doh, clay, you can mold the clay into plates and vases and mugs and display beautiful flowers. However, with the help of the potter, becomes a precious vessel. The vessel, for example, that has withstand the pressure and the challenges of time to hold many of the scrolls of the Old and New Testament that we found, and then we can draw wisdom from. So clay is submissive, but it's important. So these are some characteristics that we want to work on. We want to work on working over time to trace within ourselves, to grow within ourselves the spiritual, to build the spiritual muscle and abilities and qualities that will serve us in the next life, in the errant state, in many more millennia to come. We want to work on humbleness. Why do we always have to go around with this anger and power and destruction around us? Let's be humble and understand we don't know everything. That's why we live in society. That's why we don't live isolated. I need the knowledge of those who can build roads and cars so I can get to work. Or those who have the knowledge to build microphones and cameras and computers so that I can bring these teachings to you. We need to be more humble, friends. Going around oversharing just what comes to our mind and doing what it feels like is childishness. It's just unkind, because nobody's going around trying to know what is in your mind. We need to be able to filter and to develop that emotional intelligence and work with our own emotions. Fragile is the flower, but we need to learn to withstand the wind. And then we need to build, even though we may feel like one out of almost 8 billion incarnate, and then more than many billions discarnate on the earth, you can, as the tiny ant, build within ourselves underground cities of love and compassion by doing the job that God gave you to do where you are right now in this world. Sometimes we need to be submissive. Sometimes we need to be malleable. When we go into a situation, instead of clashing, then we can be okay. I need to adjust. God put me in here. I need to adjust. I need to mold. I need to work with others. I need to compromise. I need to be flexible, because then I can be a precious vessel and bring consolation and help everywhere we go. Meek is our physical garment, isn't it? Tiny little virus can take us, this physical garment that we so much revere and adore and honor, but some of us, that's all we do is the cult of the physical body. We're serving the cult of the physical body instead of God, which is a simple pen passes through, yet it supports countless vicissitudes and sustains the temple of the spirit in learning through dozens of lusters full of needs and moral suffering. So the physical garment that we have now for us to care is the instrument with which our spirit, through the spiritual body, acts upon the world. Blessed it is the physical, but it is a meek and it is fragile as well. We need to take care of it, not just worship it and not be only physical because we are multiple, but caring for the physical body allows us to better actualize the potentials of our spirit because it's the temple of the spirit in learning. That's how we learn. This is the test. We learned a bunch of things in previous lives. We sowed a bunch of fruits and a bunch of thorns, and today we are here to reap it. We went to the arid state, to the colonies. We learned, we prepared, we promised, we made a plan. Now we are here. That's the test. True progress dispenses with violence. In order to progress into learning, we don't need to be violent because the society still values aggressiveness, alpha behaviors, always being the last one to say something, always being right. Yet, in order to progress, we need meekness. We need to be malleable. We need to understand we are fragile, but we can withstand what comes our way. We still need to learn to value those who are peacemakers. As we can read in the Gospel according to Spiritism, there's a whole chapter just about peacemaking skills. We do not need to be violent. We can use our words peacefully. There's a book that I did a study back then, on a different day. The book Calmness by Emmanuel. And he has a chapter that is a speak peacefully, where everything that I say needs to come out of me with love and kindness and infused with peace. Because with one word, I can cut through someone's heart virtually and hurt that person. And that system, I will have to answer to that word, that unkind word, the violent word, inciting violence, inciting divisiveness. That's not progress. Progress is moving. If you go to the hierarchy of the planets, go read in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Joyful worlds, divine worlds, celestial worlds are not violent. They're not divisive. Each and every spirit is unique, but we are one humanity living on this earth. There's one slight piece of the entire humanity that lives around the universe. Everything is serenity and sequence in evolution. Evolution works slowly but surely, one step at a time, under the guidance of the divine minds, as Sandra Lewis shows to us in the book Evolution in Two Worlds, the divine creators. There are carrying out the actions as defined by God to create everything that we see. The evolution works. There are divine creatures caring for the evolution of the planet, of each and every plant, each and every animal, each and every one of us. Because the spiritual principle evolves over time. We evolve over time. So let's plan for the week. It's only Tuesday. There are many days for the week. And that's the advice from Sandra Lewis. He says, let us learn from nature and adopt mildness as the guideline of our achievements for a higher life. To be mild, to be affable, to be kind needs to be rewarded. We need to infuse in our brains, and if we are responsible for the care and the growth of others, by being parents or caregivers or teachers, we need to infuse in the malleable minds that are growing. That be mild and meek is the way to go. Not rewarding competition to the sake for the sake of competition. We need to see ourselves and infuse in the new generation the importance of seeing ourselves as embedded in the mesh of humanity. What happens to me affects others. What happens across the globe affects what happens to us in our neighborhoods, even if our neighborhood is gated and safe. If there's still children around the world who don't have, that is affecting us. Even though we may be wealthy and blessed with good schools, if there's still schools in our system who don't have pens and pencils for the students, we all lose, because we're losing the potential. We're losing the brain power of those who are unable to have the same as we have. Let's learn from them. Let's look around the beauty of spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. Look around how there was no leaves because they fall during the fall, and the winter, the snow, and then the temperature slowly, gradually changes to be warmer and warmer each day. The days are longer and longer by minutes and minutes. And then the flowers come, and the pollen is around, and then the flowers will become fruits. Then the trees start developing their leaves again. It's all mild. It's all meek. It's all cyclical. And is guided, of course, by the superior intelligences that take care of the plants in this case. But not all kinds of meekness, it says, but not the meekness that accommodates itself with inertia. Oh, I'll be meek, then I won't do anything, I'll stay around and meditate. No, not the meekness that accommodates itself with inertia, disturbance, and evil, but that meekness which is based on constructive patience, which works incessantly and persists in the best that one can do. So we work every day. So today, let's say my study group didn't do as well. No problem. Next week we do better. Today I wasn't able to fulfill a task and let everybody down. Tomorrow I try again. I'm taking better care of myself emotionally, physically, psychologically. Because if we have constructive patience, we can work to overcome the obstacles of ignorance that froze us on the road, overcoming the obstacles of struggle, sustaining himself in the service that never wavers, and in the faithful hope that trusts without discouragement in the final victory of goodness. So we trust, friends, that goodness will prevail. Do you know how we know that? The goodness is prevailing? In the books of Sandra Lewis, he reminds us of the thousands and millions of Manuel Filomena de Miranda in the book Planetary Transition, for example. There is something going on around the world. Thousands and millions of spirits organize and come down to help us. You look around in the solar system. We are the only ones who still have the vestige of this physical body. Blessed as it is, it's still physical and in gross matter compared to what's out there. Goodness is abundant in the universe. Chapter 3 of the book Genesis. Go read about God and divine providence. Go read about love in the book After Death by Leon Denis. Goodness prevails. Goodness will prevail in the earth. It's just a time of transition. Remember, Christ is at the helm. Christ is taking care of each and every one of us daily. We need to trust. Faithful hope that trusts. Without discouragement, continue to do the beautiful work that you were put in this earth to do, so that we can contribute to the final victory of goodness. But it starts, the sum of what we see out there, the disturbances, the violence, the difference is the product of all of us. What you see out there is a sum of all of us. So if each and every one of us work on this trusting, this faithful hope, continued constructive patience, we can do a better world for everyone. And as I said, this is from the book Charity by several spirits through ChicoXavier. Please go to YouTube, Facebook, and SoundCloud. You'll find that playlist by our dear Vanessa Anzalone, who is the editor-in-chief of the magazine. Dear friends, what a blessing to be here today. I hope that between now and the next time we meet, you may stay well, you may stay safe. Stick around. Our dear friend, Carol Correia, will be with you at 9 p.m. to study the book, The Spirit's Book, by Allan Kardec, where she lovingly discuss each and every question from the third part of the Spirit's Book, The Divine Laws. Stick around and take care of yourself, take care of someone else, stay well, and God willing, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.